Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina. So today we're going to be doing this fall makeup look. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Let's get into it. So first I'm using my hyaluronic moisturizer from SEPHORA brand. We're going to rub that into our skin. This is a moisturizer slash primer. I'm just going ahead and massaging my face, sculpting my jawline, and now I'm using my Mercier. This is a smoothing primer. I'm focusing it on the center of my face where I'm most porous and where I have a little bit of fine lines. We want it to look smooth. So I went ahead and did my brows off camera because it can take a while. So I'm going to bring you guys a little closer so you can see what's going on. So I went ahead and put concealer all over my eye, and now I'm setting it with foundation powder so that our shadow will blend effortlessly, won't skip or anything like that. So I'm trying a different technique today. I'm doing the darker shade first and then I'm blending it into my crease. So since the look is a little bit darker and a little bit more smokier, so I wanted to try this out and see how it would work differently than what I usually do. So I'm just layering the color and the shade in the outer corner, creating that depth, and then blending it into my crease. Not too high because we're still going to go in with that lighter brown, and that's going to create that nice gradient smoky vibe. So I'm going in with that warmer brown. I'm using the Colors Friendcation palette. It's one of my favorite palettes. I'm taking a small taper brush and I'm using circular motions and blending outwards to blend out that darker color. So I'm just going back and forth, layering it up, and then I'm going on the lid where we have the darker color and blending that towards my inner corner. Going back and forth just to keep everything nice and soft. Blend it out. We don't want any harsh lines. It's not a cute look. So I'm just layering it and building up the color. A lot of what goes into a good eye look and a lot of color payoff is just layering and making sure that you're getting that color on the eye. Because once you blend out, you're diffusing the color, but you want it to stay. So you go ahead and pack it on. That's the key. That's the secret. I just told it to you. So now I'm going in with a lighter shade in that palette, and I'm just blending everything out and then blending it towards my temple because I do like that more sultry lifted eye look. So I went ahead and cleaned it up with my finger, but that's just for me and my brain to see how it's going to look. So a little trick for cutting the crease: if you put a little bit of concealer on your lid and then you look up, it goes ahead and shapes what the top of your lid and where your crease is. So then you can go ahead and follow through with a flat brush and then just carve out your lid. So I'm going ahead and do that now. I'm taking a smaller brush now just to blend everything out and suppress it into my skin. I went ahead and used 3 different brushes, but that's just because I grabbed the wrong brush initially. So I'm just pressing that out and then feathering it out to the outer corner of my eye because I don't want to take it too far out. I don't want to cut the whole lid, just the half. So I'm taking those 2 light shades from the Supreme Nudes palette by Artist Couture, and I'm packing that onto my lid. It's a really nice nude but neutral nude. Then we're going in with that color that I have in the crease and we're just blending that out. We're blending out the outer corner and we're marrying the lid and the outer corner shade together, so it gives you that nice gradient vibe that we've been talking about. Then I went ahead again with the outer corner color, and then we're just blending again. Everything is just blending and making sure everything is seamless. I'm going to move on to complexion. So I'm going to go ahead and put foundation all over my face. I'm using the Rare Beauty foundation. This has become one of my favorite foundations. Initially trying it out, I liked it, but the way it wears on my skin is just so lightweight. It's great coverage and it doesn't feel like I have a lot of makeup on. I will definitely be getting this again. So I'm just going ahead and using the Rare Beauty foundation brush, and I'm pressing that into my skin and then blending it out so there isn't any harsh lines. And then you really want to press it into your skin and make sure everything looks good. I'm going in with my sponge to take off any excess product that could be there. And using the sponge after applying it with the brush, it just makes your skin look like skin. It doesn't look like you have a bunch of makeup on. Now I'm using the Rare Beauty concealer. I'm just putting it on the sides of my nose and then under my eye. I used to put a lot of concealer under my eyes, but I realized I really just need to lift and highlight certain areas instead of overdoing it. So I blend it out. I still bring it down towards my cheekbones, but I try not to add too much concealer all over my face. So I'm using the Morphe G5 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes of life. Literally, it is a beauty blender on a stick. It just blends out the concealer so nicely. And I'm just pressing that into my skin, sides of my nose. So I go ahead and go back with the sponge, whatever excess leftover foundation that's on the sponge, I just press that around where I applied the concealer so everything blends out together. We don't want no lines of demarcation, no harsh lines. Everything needs to blend effortlessly. So now I'm taking a lighter concealer. This is the Morphe liquid concealer, and we're just bringing it really tight into the inner corner, sides of the nose, and then on the outer corners to clean up any eyeshadow that might look a little crazy. So what this does, it lifts the face. It highlights the areas that you really want to highlight. And now I'm taking my cream bronzer. I'm placing that in areas where I want to bring some warmth, make smaller, sculpt the face a little bit. I have a really in-depth complexion tutorial on my channel if you guys want to check that out. I'll link it down below. So I'm using my Rare Beauty concealer brush. We're just keeping it tight, blending out just in that areas where we applied it. I really like this brush because it's dense and you can buff out your concealer really nicely. It looks really airbrushed. I did mess up my outer corner of my eyeshadow. It happens. All you need to do is just take whatever's left on the brush, blend it out, and then go back in and fix it, and you're good. And then do the same thing on the other eye so it doesn't look wonky. So with the cream bronzer on my nose, I'm just pressing that concealer brush really lightly on my nose to blend it out. I know it looks like I'm erasing what I did, but it leaves a faint shadow for my actual contour powder to lay nicely and blend into my skin. So I'm pressing the Fenty bronzer into my skin, just blending it out using a soft blush brush. I love this Fenty bronzer. If you were to get a cream bronzer, please get this one. It just blends nicely. It can sit on your skin for a good amount of time and still blend out. It doesn't set too fast on your skin, which I love. So right now I'm taking translucent powder and I'm just really pressing into my under eye so it doesn't crease. My concealer stays put. And now I'm taking a fluffier brush and packing in more translucent powder. To set the rest of the face, I'm using my SEPHORA foundation powder. I can't remember the name of it. I will put it in the description as always. So now I'm taking my bronzer. This is the Tarte Park Ave Princess bronzer. And I'm just putting that wherever I had the cream bronzer. This is going to set our bronzer and also add just a little bit more dimension and depth to our skin. So you want to make sure you put it from the top of your ear and then blend it downwards. Don't forget that jawline and your neck area because it will show. I promise you it will, even though you think it won't, it will. So if you go a little too ham like I did, you can take some translucent powder and foundation powder, press that into the skin and make sure everything is blended out. Taking my Hoola bronzer just to contour a little bit more, sculpt my cheekbones. I contoured my nose. For some reason it didn't get it on camera. And then I went ahead and put translucent powder just on the sides of my nose to bake it. That's going to help contour and snatch my nose a little bit more, make it pinched. I also like to put translucent powder under my eyes just to lift it. I put it under my cheeks, do a little dance break, and then wipe it off. I do not like to leave it under my cheek where I clean up my contour because it just looks a little bit too fake and a little bit too much. So now I'm putting in a dark brown liner from Charlotte Tilbury and then that dark brown shadow just to smudge and blend that out. So I go ahead with the dark and then whatever I put in the crease, I'm putting on my lower lash line as well to blend that out and really smoke it out. So then it ties the whole eye together. So now I'm dusting off my translucent powder. I'm just flicking upwards towards my nose so that if there is any fallout from what I did to my lower lash line, it just comes right off. I'm not blending it into my skin. And then just dusting off with a really light hand. I'm taking my Morphe Luminous setting spray, which is one of my favorite setting sprays ever. Setting spray is really important because it blends all that powder, melts it into your skin so your skin looks like skin. And it also keeps your makeup on, so it's a definitely important step. I fan my face after I apply my setting spray so that it dries down evenly. And now that my skin is just slightly moist, you want to go ahead and put on your highlighter just so it goes on really smooth and looks wet. So I put it on the tip of my nose, high points of my cheeks, on my cupid's bow, and now I'm going in with my blush. And we're going to pop that on the tops of the cheek and then blend it outwards towards the temple so that it just blends out nice and effortlessly. And then I put it on my forehead as well as my chin area, just to tie the colors all together. I'm taking my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish Powder. I love this powder because it brightens the under eye just a little bit more, and it also diffuses any looks of pores, any texture. It just really gives that airbrush finish, and I really see a difference when I use it and when I don't. So it just helps to tie everything together. Also, putting it on the sides of my nose helps with cleaning up the contour if it looks a little messy or anything like that. So upon zooming in, I see that my blush is looking a little crazy, a little patchy. To fix that, you could just take your sponge, blend it out with the other end where there was some foundation, and then just blend it out with any leftover blush you have on your brush, and it's easily fixed. So I'm just setting my brows right now with my brow gel from Benefit. Brushing my brows upwards, it just leaves your brows looking more lifted. Everything looks nicer. So I really recommend using a brow gel. And now I'm putting on mascara just to prep for lashes. You want to make sure you have a nice even coat. I'm going a little ham on my lower lashes because it is a smoky look, so I want it to look a little bit more dramatic. I'm going ahead and pop on my false lashes. So what I do is I put it in the center of my lid, really close to my lash line. That's the most important step. And then adjusting the outer corners and inner corners and just making sure everything is on and not moving or stabbing me. I'm taking my Fenty highlighter and I'm putting it on my inner corners just to open it up a little bit more. I just add it more to my nose because I'm just being extra. And now I'm taking my KKW Nude 2.5 lip liner, and of course I'm covering my lips with my mirror. I always do this. So what I do is I shade the outer corners, I line the center of my lips just to give that dimension and that poutiness. I'm taking my KKW Nude 3 lipstick. I just focus that in the center, then I go back with my liner to make sure everything is blended. Taking Unbutton by Fenty Beauty. It's a little lighter than the Nude 3 from KKW, and it's a little bit peachier, so it brings that warmth into the lips, but also creates that poutiness because it is lighter and creates an ombre effect. I like to use my finger just to blend everything out, marry all the products together, and we are done. This is the completed look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for next ones, let me know below. Let's link up. Add me on my socials. It's in the description area. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks again. Bye.